What's up guys, welcome back to another episode of Shrine Guide. In today's episode we're going to be reviewing the 4 different perks that are in the shrine this week. Also, I'm going to give you a few examples of how you can use them in-game. And finally, I'm going to give you my judgment call and how well these perks really fit in the meta. So let's get right into it. So we're actually going to focus on the killer perks first and then we'll jump over to the survivor perks. So the first one is called Hex of the Third Seal. Now this is a very rare perk that comes from the Hag, a hex that hinders one's aura reading ability. Hitting the survivor with a basic attack while the hex totem is active applies the blindness effect. This effect applies to the last 4 survivors that you hit. This effect is only persistent as long as the totem is standing. So this perk is just like any other hex totem perk where it probably won't last the entire match. In fact, most of the times you're really hoping and praying that your totem spawns in a really good and hidden spot so that you can really embrace the full potential of this perk. So for instance, if you're able to melee attack every single player on the team, they will not know where anyone is. It's kind of like having knockout, where if you knock someone down, the rest of the team, unless they're really close, they can't see their teammate. So pretty much it's really helpful with if you hook somebody, they'll see the little explosion aura, like, oh, that person was hooked in the basement. But then after a few seconds, it just disappears and they will never see them again until they just find them. This is really strong in solo queue, but it's very, very weak against Swifts, so survive with friend groups. If they're in comms, if they're using any type of perks that help them see each other, they won't, the perks that help them see each other, like Kindred, or even Bond, Empathy, they won't be able to see their friends because Hex of the Third Seal overrides that. Now, Remember Me is a really good perk to tie it with a perk called Nemesis. It's an Oni perk. Whenever you're stunned, whether it's Pallet Stun, Flashlight Stun, Decisive Strike, Head On, any type of stun, that person who did that action to you is now your obsession. So now you can chase them. They're oblivious to you, which means they don't hear your terror radius and they don't see your red stain for 60 seconds. And you can see their aura for 4 seconds, which is really good. Then you can melee them, get your hits, get your stacks, and you can get up to 4 hits on your obsession throughout the entire trial. When the door is open, you add an additional 60 seconds. You can also run Rancor because say at the end of the game, you want to annihilate your obsession, then you can one-shot them, they're on the ground, and whoever's left, they'll have the 16 seconds of additional time on the door. So this is really good if you want to slow down the game for the end game before the doors open. You can make any crazy builds. Let me know in the comment section if you come up with anything that's really good. Okay, so let's go over to the survivor perks now. So up this week we have one of my really favorite perks, which is Quick and Quiet. You do not make as much noise as others when quickly vaulting over obstacles or hiding in lockers. The vault and hide action, noise detection, and audio range is reduced by 100%. You can fast vault and jump into lockers and the killer will not hear that little explosion and see the aura. You just jump right in, you're a ninja. And this is a Meg Thomas perk. So this effect is also a passive cooldown. Unlike the exhaustion perks in the game, this one passively cools down over 20 seconds, and that's awesome. Now here we also have the other perk, which is from our dude Quentin, and it's called Vigil. Vigil is the other Shrine of Secrets perk, which says you look over your friends even in dire situations. You and your allies within 8 meters range recover from the exhaustion, hemorrhage, mangle, hindered, and blindness status 20% faster. Once they're out of range, this effect still persists for 15 seconds. That's awesome. That is awesome. Because the thing is, with a lot of exhaustion perks, which I'm going to go to next, they recover at tier 3 in 40 seconds. 20% of 40 seconds is 8 seconds. So now you have 32, practically 30-second cooldown. That's really awesome. So if you're someone who likes to use exhaustion perks, the main ones are Dead Hard, Sprint Burst, Lithe. There's a lot of others, Balanced Landing. If you're running a really tight loop and you love that area of the map, running Vigil will help you to reduce that cooldown so that you can continue to use those perks to your advantage. Now that's awesome. Now with quick and quiet, something that I would do is running with a lithe and dance with me combo. So dance with me is a Kate perk where if you fast vault, you leave no scratch marks, or even if you sprint out of a locker, you leave no scratch marks for 3 seconds. I think that's awesome because if you are looping, and then you fast vault without the killer knowing, and you don't leave any scratch marks, that is freaking awesome. Now, if you tie this with lithe, practically you're getting sprint bursts once you vault. If they don't hear it and you sprint away and you're gone, it's perfect. You don't leave scratch marks for 3 seconds, and also life is performed for 3 seconds. So you can get away really easily, or by the time the killer even knows which way you went, you can already jump to another safer loop, or you can get to another pallet, whatever works for you. But I think that's the best build in terms of running quick and quiet with Vigil and combining it with some of the other meta perks out there too. Now, other people like to do head-ons. Head-ons are not really as effective, I would say, as lithe because you will always be in the chase. But a lot of times it is very hard to navigate the killer into the pathway of where a locker will be. And a lot of times they are very smart and they'll just backpedal. And I don't know, sometimes head-on is just really finicky. So that's what I would recommend is running it with lithe. So that's going to be it for me, guys. I hope that this guide really helped you out to learn how these perks are really effective in the meta. And also, too, if you're a killer, I hope that you're able to utilize these perks to your advantage and get some good, easy games. Again, guys, if you want to improve your killer gameplay as the Huntress, we have a new tips and tricks guide that just came out. So if you want to check that out, I'll try to put that in the description below. But besides that, if you really like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe for more future content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.